Hello, my SMOD friends. It's your faithful commander here, coming at you with another video. Wanted to talk about a couple more bands that need to be heard, that are very obscure, and that are spooky and fit this time of year pretty well. So got to jump on the opportunity to talk about a couple bands, a couple albums that you need to know. In this video, I'll be going over one band that released a fantastic album on Halloween 1969, and it's a very, very underrated, obscure album. The other band is a even more obscure, possibly, band, if that's even possible, and very interesting that they actually were formed in 1970 and were discovered by Tony Iommi. Yes, Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath actually produced their album for them. But this band was still lost completely, never really made it. And but the album that they released is amazing. So we're going to go over both of these bands and records in this video, and show some pictures, and just talk about it, do a little review of it. So enjoy, let's talk. Alright, let's get into it. The first band I'm going to be talking about is called Writing on the Wall. This is a band from Scotland, and they were formed in the late 60s. They became a popular live act in the United Kingdom. So they were formed as The Jury, and then they changed their name to Writing on the Wall in 1968. Then they moved to London. Their management basically was they were trying to make it in London because their management was based there. They eventually recorded The Power of the Picts in 1969, which was their only full album. And they also went on John Peel again and made an LP in Scotland that was never released. Then the group tried to record another album in Wales in 1973, but gave up when their equipment was stolen. So this is another tragic band that had a very short existence, only from 1968 to 1973. But they were an occult rock band, so it's a perfect band to talk about this time of year. And The Power of the Picts is truly a fantastic record. I mean, one of my favorites of the occult style. It's got artwork that has a skull on it, and it's very creepy looking. It was released on Halloween as well, 1969, which is perfect for the artwork that it features, and some of the songs as well. There are some songs on this album that are very creepy. There's one called Bogeyman, one called Lucifer's Corpus, and It Came on Sunday, and Shadow of Man. These guys were amazing. Okay, if you like Hammond organ, if you like the organ, this album is absolute heaven on earth for you. It's absolutely chock full of Hammond organ, groovy, bluesy, occult style, really riffs that are just absolutely amazing as well. So it's a pretty dark record, but also groovy. The Power of the Picts. It's like kind of proggish at times, but it's still pretty rockin' as well. My favorite tracks on the album include It Came on a Sunday, the opening track, Tasker's Successor, and Virginia Water. And Virginia Water is crazy. Virginia Water is a very unique song. If you have listened to Clutch, the bluesy hard rock band Clutch, if you've listened to their blues period during the 2000s, late 2000s, like Beale Street, if you've listened to Beale Street, boy, this sounds like a song straight out of Beale Street, friggin' 30 years earlier. His vocal work on that song is insane. Virginia Water is just an absolutely spectacular, mind-blowing performance. I also like the closing track, Lucifer Corpus. The entire album is good, so if you can find this, it's very hard to find on physical format, obviously, but if you can find the CD, and one of the CD versions also has a ton of bonus tracks. It's got like 20 tracks on it, so it's got like 10 bonus tracks on it. If you can find the CD or vinyl of this album, I would highly recommend getting it. It's too bad that these guys did not put out more records than this, but this record is absolutely worth the existence of this band. So, check out Writing on the Wall. I'm sure that you will not be disappointed. The second band I want to talk about is called Necromandus. This is the band that was discovered by Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath in 1972, and he actually produced their one album that they released in the 70s. They were originally only active from 1970 to 1973, but actually reformed in 2016 and are still apparently active to this day. But they were only active for a few years in the early 70s, and the album was not released until 1999 that they recorded with Tony Iommi. This album is called Orexis of Death, and this album, I've listened to it, and boy, it is a fun album. It's got songs that are very dark and spooky, just perfect for this time of year. Very occult sounding song titles such as A Black Solitude, Homicidal Psychopath, Gypsy Dancer, and of course the self-titled track Orexis of Death. So it's real good for Doom fans. If you like dark and doomy subjects, this one is pretty sweet. It's also got some dark artwork as well. So it really gets you in the mood for the spooky, doomy cult stuff. But this album has actually a quite whimsical sound. The guitar playing on this album really reminds me of Wishbone Ash. If you've ever heard Wishbone Ash, the guitar playing really reminded me of that. It's very whimsical. It just flows really well, and it's just this beautiful melodic, just riffing and just, I don't know, it just flies and soars. The vocalist also is pretty damn good as well. Gypsy Dancer is one of the songs that really caught me when I listened to it the first time. I like Nightjar as well. Of course, the closing track, Orexis of Death, is very good. So this band is very interesting because of their history with Tony Iommi. If he was drawn to this, then it tells you that it's pretty freaking good. It's pretty worthy. He actually recorded the album with them, and he actually added some guitar to the title track as well. They continued to receive praise and support, and Ozzy Osbourne was initially wanting Necromandus' guitarist, bassist, and drummer for his Blizzard of Oz project. They were in fact the original Blizzard of Oz with Osbourne in 1977, so not only are these guys connected to Tony Iommi, but also even Osbourne, good old Ozzy Osbourne, was associated with this band as well. So, unfortunately, the only surviving member today is Frank Hall. Dennis McCartan died of kidney failure at the age of 54 in 2004. Barry Dunnery died of cancer in 2008 at the age of 56, and Bill Branch died in June 1995 at the age of 45, so most of the band died pretty young. But there was a new lineup in 2016, and they recorded a new album based on the recordings the band made in 1975. Apparently it was released in 2017. I have not heard that album. So this has been hailed as the second Sabbath, but with a prog edge. It was like a Black Sabbath play Yes Greatest Hits. So kind of doomy occult, but with some prog vibes as well. Like I said, it really did remind me of Wishbone Ash, especially the guitar playing. If you really like your guitar to soar with a lot of passion, boy, this album it really hits the spot. So go ahead and check out Necromandus. This was a band that I did not find until very recently, so I'm guessing that some of you don't know this band either. Their connection to Tony Iommi and Ozzy Osbourne definitely is enough to pique anyone's interest. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy the ear candy that is these two albums, and I will talk to you soon, guys. Doom on.